lost in the Keys. Florida Keys.
The man, the legend himself, Mr. Todd Trusty. How you doing, brother?
Hey, good. I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Man, I tell you, always been a big fan of your music, and this CD here. First of all, welcome back to Sunday Mornings with the Tiki Man, and it's been a while since we got to hang out with you.
Oh yeah, I miss you guys. It's like I can't believe we're finally getting back to this.
I know, man. I know. And, we were just talking about last time you were down here. We took you down to Chattanooga Whiskey and gave you a little tour of the city.
Oh, yeah. I still got some of that whiskey left. I've shared it with some friends of mine, and boy, did they were like, wow.
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, I remember I bought the, what was it? They didn't have the high test one for the sampler, but that's the one.
Well, hold on a second.
Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, hold on. Lost you there for a second. Go ahead.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I remember doing the sampler, and they didn't have the good stuff. The top.
That's right. Yeah.
And but I'm like, as I was going through the tastings and got close to that one, I'm like, okay, that's the one I want then. So as we were walking out, that's the one I got. So
there you go, man. There you go. Yeah. Well, cool, man. How's the weather up north there?
Today, nice and sunny, a little chilly, breezy. Well, it was so breezy here yesterday, it literally knocked one of the planters, and I keep looking over that way because that's my deck over there. Literally took a heavy-duty planter that's up on the rail and knocked it down. So we get some pretty heavy winds up on this hill that I'm on now.
I hear you, man. Well, man, this new CD, A Little Time in the Sand, tell us a little bit about it. I mean, I know you've sent us some singles and stuff of that nature, but finally getting it all together has really come together
this
good.
One's been totally different. Obviously, COVID throws a wrench into everything, but, I had no plans whatsoever to do anything. And all I had was I had released Lost in the Keys, and I released that wedding song, We'll Dance, and which... That one did not make it onto this CD. I figured I'd put it on something later. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, right as COVID was hitting, I got a message from a guy named Captain Joe Kent. I call him Captain Joe Kent because he is a towboat captain, literally. And he reached out to me and said, I've got some songs I'd love you to hear. And as I was listening to these songs, I found out that they were only demos, and he was asking if I would be interested in recording them. So we started digging through his catalog. He opened it all up to me, and he's been writing for several years now, and I found quite a bit of good stuff in there that I really loved. So started doing a bunch of singles, and so it's interesting because some of the songs that these demos came from, we kind of worked it out to make things a lot easier so that I could use the music from the demo. So I didn't have to go back into the studio to redo it all from scratch. But some of these songs were done in different studios, so the sound is a little different in each one. I was kind of pulling those out and just doing those, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, I got a message earlier this year from Mike Cool, who is a co-writer with J.D. Edge from Rebel Railroad.
Yeah.
And I had done one of their songs on my second CD, Wishing I Was With You, and Mike reached out to me and said, hey, I really love what you did with the song. He says, we got more here, love you to listen to it and see if there's anything you want. So the first song right out of the gate was Go Sailing By. I absolutely loved it, and I'm like, I want that one. And let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. Matter of fact, I actually had a songwriting session with Mike at one point. So it was kind of cool to get that. And then, seriously, I think it was 2 days... a day or two after Mike had reached out to me, a guy by the name of Robert Sheets reached out to me, and it was the same situation. He said, hey, I've got a song here. I'd love you to record it. And I took one listen to it and was like, oh, that's definitely mine. And that ended up being Bikinis and Beer. So, most of my stuff is kind of pretty well laid back, but the Bikinis and Beer is probably one of the more upbeat songs I've ever got a hold of. So it was fun to do something different. But yeah.
Well, and I mean, it sounds to me like, and how cool is that people, songwriters that really think enough of your style and how you do things, and they think, man, this would be great for Todd Trusty, and they send it over to you, and it turns out to be a great song. That's got to make you feel good.
Oh yeah, I'm blown away if anybody reaches out to me. Yeah, I've always felt that my vocals were usually my strong suit. So, to have people actually want me to record their songs, it's just I can't explain what it feels like. It's just really over the moon, really. So
well, that's cool, man. And we'd mentioned earlier in the show that you're not going to make it down to Key West this year because you wanted to go check out some things in Nashville. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I became a member of the Americana Music Association a while back, and they have an event every year, much the same as Country Fest, but it's Americana Fest. Mm-hmm. And they were doing, and they have sessions that you can go into, and you get talks about the latest in how you getting reimbursed for all your money, all your songs and stuff like that. And there was there was several cool sessions that I went to, got into some of those, and then they had a lot of music events all over the city, and even some right out of the city. So we went to a couple of those. It just so happens that the timing was perfect because my wife Debbie, it was her birthday that weekend. So, and we had some friends. We told them we were going, and then all of a sudden it turned into they showed up on Friday. So it was one of those deals where it was kind of like once the friends showed up, it was kind of like, okay, I did the Americana Fest sessions and some things, so I'm good. Let's go hang out with everybody else.
Yeah.
But we had a great time down there. It was cool to get to see these different artists within the Americana world, and it's such a wide variety of music too. It was crazy how it just stretched the gamut. But I think that's where Americana just covers so much. Some people fit into country, mm-hmm. but it's not mainstream country maybe. And then there's a lot of folk, and then it's just so many different styles of music. It's really fun to be in there and be a part of that. I didn't get chosen to perform anywhere, so that's fine. I'm really so new to it, and it's getting in and learning what this association, what this group is all about, and actually learning who some of these artists are, because there's so many names I've never heard of.
Yeah, and the Americana Fest is that way. It's such a wide variety of music. And, being in that world, we're part of the Americana Association as well, and we definitely need to take some time to go to the Americana Fest and kind of introduce coastal Americana, because what I've discovered is kind of like the whole trop rock thing. If you just focus on trop rock, then you're missing out on some other music, right? So it's the same thing with that. They're trying to play to fit into that Americana mold or whatever without any kind of real identity. Now, I've heard things thrown around like folk Americana, bluegrass Americana. There's all kinds of different styles, but I think doing your research and going out and being a part of something like that, it's helping you broaden your musical talent as well.
Oh, definitely. And it's funny because the other day I was on my way to go apple picking with my granddaughters and my daughter, and I literally had the station on. I think I was listening to today's top hits. It was the pop stuff, the dance music, because it's like I want to listen to the other genres to hear what's going on out there. Maybe that'll give me some ideas, and I can bring them back into this one a little bit. But yeah, I love a wide variety of styles anyways. So it's been fun to get involved with all this stuff. And it's interesting too, because the Americana Music Association will do these virtual mixers with its members from time to time. And it's been fun to get in there because you go into Zoom and you see all these people on the screen, and then all of a sudden they push a button and you go into a room with 4 or 5 other people. And you all introduce yourself to each other, and you talk about what you're doing, and you find out all these different, and they seem to be very amazed when I talk to them about our style of music, or this style of music, I should say. So it's fun to see their faces, and they're like, really? Oh, wow, that's cool. So, I think sooner or later you're going to start seeing this style of music start to gain a little traction in the Americana world when they start seeing it and hearing it.
Yeah, so absolutely. Well, so let's see here now. If I remember correctly, there's 12 songs on this CD.
12 songs, yes.
You know, that's kind of old school type putting out music now. You know, a lot of people are kind of doing the little EPs, you know, 5 or 6 at a time.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is that when Captain Joe Kent opened up his catalog to me, I suddenly had at least, I picked 8 right out of the bat. And so it was kind of like, okay, well, I could stop there because I had just finished writing Another Wave. I mean, about the same time that Mike Cool and Robert Sheets reached out to me, I just finished writing a song that I'd been working on for like a year.
Right.
And, you know, it's another one of those situations where I had this melody in my head and I just could not get the words. And all of a sudden, boom, it just showed up and I had that song. So, it's like they just came in and I could have stopped there. But then, you know, I was like, oh, I got a couple more to throw in. So let's see what I got. And I still have more material to work with at this point. So I was like, geez, do I keep going and maybe go for a double CD or nah? let's just call it quits now because, you know, it's that time now where everybody wonders, what should I do? Should I put out a CD because they're getting antiquated? I mean, I don't even have a CD player in my car. You know,
right.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I'd leave the studio when I'd have something that I was working on, and then he'd hand me a CD, and I'd be like, okay, well, I can't even listen to it on my way home.
And that's just where we're at. I mean, you know, and I think, you know, a lot of artists are, you know, you'd order boxes of these things, you know, like to go to Key West or whatever, but I think a lot of people are. You know, it's downloadable. It's instant. A lot of people can download it as they're watching you play, you know, and all this stuff, you know. So, but people still want to hold those, you know, and we always encourage people to order these CDs directly from you guys. Might cost them a little more, but you'll probably sign it or send them a sticker or something. You know, it's kind of cool, and that's what it's all about, supporting you.
Right. Yeah, and you know, you know, dollar wise, you make more money off of a physical CD. In the end, really, when it gets down to it, because streaming really doesn't pay a lot.
Right.
And you got to have thousands and thousands of streams to start seeing any kind of, you know, single-digit dollars sometimes. Right. You know, it's kind of crazy. And then the downloads, they take such a percentage of it that you wind up getting very little back. So, but it's great. I mean, I love people listening to the music. I think the other day I got a thing from Spotify. I don't know how many thousands of streams the CDs had, and I was kind of like, wow, that's different.
Yeah.
Usually it takes me, you know, I might see them say, oh yeah, you had like 100 streams or, you know, 500 streams over a period of time, but all of a sudden I got this, I'm like, well, this thing's only been out for a little while. So it's been fun to see that, and sometimes there is a lot more that goes into this business that it drives me crazy, because with a full-time job, I just don't have the time to invest in a lot of, you know, going out there and really digging in to find where and how to get things in, because Spotify's got all these algorithms for getting your songs onto certain playlists.
Right.
But if you take the time and you really research it, you know, it really comes down to how much are you investing in it to what you're going to get back out of it.
Yeah,
so, but that's tough.
Yeah, and people can really help you out on like Spotify or whatever, where they can make you as a favorite, you know, like it or whatever on Spotify. And then it gets into, you know, your own playlist, right? And then people listen to that to kind of see what kind of music you're into. And then, you know, it kind of makes it all go around. Yeah,
and those services are also looking to see what's going on in their own world. And
sure.
then that says, oh, hey, this thing over here that somebody's listening to is getting a lot of traction. Let's put it over here and put it into our playlist that people tend to go into. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into this business, and it's like it's overwhelming when you start digging into it. And then, of course, like anything, there's umpteen different YouTube channels out there that says do this or do that, do this or do that. And,
yeah.
Or send me some money and I'll show you how to do that. It's like,
yeah. Send me money and I'll show you how to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, listen, let's play one of the tunes off of it. I think we chose "Bikinis and Beer," which is a great choice there. If we could just sprinkle a little hot sauce on that, everything would be good, you know. But anyway, right. All right, so here we go. "Bikinis and Beer." We're going to play this, and then we'll come back to you, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, here we go. This is brand new off of Todd Trusty's brand new CD, "A Little Time in the Sand," which is available now. And here we go. There we go.
Wow, that was really good.
Let me get your mic
bravo.
on.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Todd.
That was an awesome
morning.
song. Great new song, Todd.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, Robert did a great job on that one. And I actually, the guy on the pans is Mark Morellis.
Oh, wow.
I know Mark Morales. Yes, I love him. He's a sweet guy. Really good.
Yeah, I reached out to him. He was great to work with, man.
He is great.
Yeah, he's fantastic, man. And that's another thing. So you worked with all these other songwriters and putting us all together and different musicians as well, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as I haven't. I mean, the musicians I've used so far for all my studio work they're all local guys up here. Matter of fact, they're all pretty much in a Kenny Chesney tribute band called No Shoes Nation, which is I mean they'll take you away. You'll think you're at a Chesney concert. They're that
Wow.
with that whole thing. So. They're great to work with. And Bob Catalano, the guy who owns the studio, he's also the bass player, the engineer, everything. He's incredible to work with. He's got a way of pulling out the best in everybody. It's always fun to go into the studio and watch some of these guys do stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's funny because either they'll be like, I don't think that was that good. Let me try something else, or Bob will look at him and go, yeah, try it again.
Exactly.
So, but I love being in the studio. It's a fun time. It's one of those things that I don't know what I want to do sometimes. It's like I don't know what I can't do and where, it's like, you start playing around with it and you're like, okay, maybe we'll try this, maybe we'll try that. Because that song actually was supposed to have a lead guitar part. And the guitarist Rick Risty, he worked really hard to come up with this whole solo, and it was really it was like Brad Paisley-esque solo, but it just didn't quite fit into the whole tropical kind of thing. It was really if we had gone more country with it, then I probably would have used that. But I felt bad that we didn't use it, but at the same time, it just didn't quite mesh. I didn't think, but I definitely it's like, okay, well now I know that he does that. I'll use that next time, for something else. But yeah, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. The other things, it was one thing to do the other songs that with Joe Kent and have all the demos and everything to work with, and then just do vocals over it. But in some cases, there's like maybe I should have gone into the studio just to play around a little bit more.
Sure. Yeah.
But we didn't have access to all the tracks. I mean, that was actually, I think, couple songs we did have access to all the original tracks that they had done for the demo, so we could tweak things a little bit. So it was, little things like that along the way. It's fun to get into, and again, I still have more material for a lot of these guys, really, that to go through. That we haven't even ventured into just yet. Matter of fact, it was funny because I came across one as I was going through a bunch of files on my computer. It was like, oh, wait a minute, I actually put vocals on this song and I totally forgot about it. And so it missed the cut. So I'm like, well, there's one for the next one.
Yeah, and that must feel good. I mean, I was interviewing John Friday, years ago or whatever, and he was looking for something in a drawer one day, and he ran across a song that he wrote like 5 or 6 years ago, and he was like, oh, I'd forgot about that one. But sometimes songs are like that. I mean, you get hung up on a song, and sometimes it's kind of like working on a car or something. Sometimes you got to walk away a little bit and then come back, and it all makes sense.
Oh yeah, Another Wave. I put that song last because it's really kind of low key. It starts off really kind of really low, kind of sad.
Yeah.
And that song, literally, I had the music to, and I had this feeling I wanted to do a song about people they feel like going to the water, being near the water just makes life better for them. It gets them away and it makes them, just relax. So I wanted to come along with that kind of a thought, but I couldn't. I had something about a woman having issues and going to the beach and just sitting there and just trying to chill out. And I started down one path and I didn't like the way it was going. And then I created the entire song melody-wise. I knew exactly how I wanted to build it musically, but I just could not get the words. And I finally one day I had to go down to Rhode Island for something, and I recorded myself playing the guitar on my phone. And on the way down, I just kept hitting repeat, just play it over and over again. And all of a sudden, literally halfway into going down to Rhode Island, words just started flowing out of my mouth, and I went, oh my God. Now I'm driving down 128 at 80, like 75 miles an hour. I'm like, now what do I do? Oh man, I'm going to forget this. So,
right.
I immediately like hit the voice memo quickly and just started rattling on things. And by the time I got to Rhode Island, it was like, I think I actually have the whole thing done.
There you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, and little tweaks here and there. But the funny story with that song is that I was a member of the Nashville Songwriters Alliance International for a while, and I went on a virtual, because they were doing virtual meetings up here for the Boston chapter, and I presented that song, and they ripped it apart.
Really?
I mean, they gave me so many different critiques. I was kind of like, and of course I'm on a video conference, so I'm like, oh nice, yeah, no, okay, good, yeah, let me write that down, okay, yeah, thank you, that's good. But they would tell, it was so weird, because they're like, oh, we want to hear more of the story. We want to know more about these people. What's wrong with this and what that and da, da, da. And then it's like, well, this seems kind of silly that they would get together. And I'm like, I never said they got together. It's like, I was like, they just saw each other, talk to each other. I'm like, they didn't. It's not like they got married. And so it was just, I was kind of like, man, do you guys really understand how to critique a song?
Sure.
And, and with that membership, you could submit stuff to an anonymous reviewer. And I did. And what I got back was, hey, you can look into your hook about this, but what you got's good. Or, yeah, you can expand on this thought a little bit, but what you got is good. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got what's good. So I'm going to leave it the way it is. Yeah, and I always have trouble, too, even attending those meetings and critiquing other people's work. I mean, this is something that you've worked on. If you feel good about it, it's yours.
Yeah, I've always been a little suspicious of that as well. I mean, because I don't know if they're really taking the time to appreciate the work that you've put into it. Now, I'm sure there's people out there, new songwriters or whatever, that are looking for that little bit of I don't really know how to put this together, and that's helpful or whatever. But I would be the same way. I would have a hard time. Even though I get a lot of music sent to me and people say, what do you think of this, before it's done, that's different because I understand that artist's style and where they're trying to go, but, somebody you don't even know, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it is, and it's you don't know how long they worked on it. I mean, if they turned around and said, hey, yeah, I wrote this in the last, 10 minutes, it's like, okay. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, are you happy with it? Does it work for you? And actually one of the things that I attended at the Americana Fest was a session where they reviewed songs. And I found out that there were a lot of radio stations that were in there. And I'd hear a song, they'd play a snippet of a song, and you'd have to rate it 1 to 10. And I'd be like, yeah, this is, to me, it's like a 2 or a 3. It's nothing. But I'd look around the room and I'd see 8s and 9s. And I'm like, okay, we're totally hearing something different here. And I don't know what we're hearing differently, but, and the same thing. I mean, I throw up a high number, they throw up a low number. And they would justify it as we never play it on our radio station. It doesn't fit our mold. So be like, okay, I get that. I get why you're saying it's low. But, judge the song for the song.
There you go.
But...
Well, buddy, I really appreciate you taking some time to, and we're going to miss you down in Key West, but I really appreciate you coming on to talk about this new CD. Tell everybody real quickly where they can get your music, follow you, and all that good stuff. Yeah,
well, you can find it at toddtrustymusic.com. There is a store on there. Yeah, there's a way to order it from me there. And it's on all the download sites. I mean, we're on Apple Music, Amazon, I think Google Music has got it. It's on Spotify if you want to, all the streaming sites. It goes to so many, I can't remember how many it goes to. But, yeah, I do really appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, miss you guys. I want to get down there so bad. Had such a great time down there. I'd love to get Deb down there and just hang with you all sometime. But, I really wish I was going to Key West, but... I am definitely I can say now that there's no way I'm going to miss it next year. Hopefully everything is good by then. Everything is still good.
Yeah.
And I wish you guys all the best going down there and having a good time. So.
Well, there you go, man. We will be streaming it live on the Island J live cam down there. We've got several sponsors for the cameras: Keys Custom Construction, Remodeling, Reggae Wines. So it'll be streaming on YouTube, so you can see it for all the people that can't make it down this year.
Yeah, that'll just depress me. But I will watch.
Yeah.
I've done that before. It gets really depressing when you're watching everybody on the webcams and you're like, oh, man, did I make the wrong decision this year?
There you go. Well, buddy, we're going to let you fly. Yeah, we're going to let you fly, and we got Surf Riders at the Florida Keys coming up next. And, man, we miss you, and we'll see you down the road, brother.
Miss you, too. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.
All right, man. How about a little life with a grain of salt? Here we go. See you, brother.
See you.